Hey guys, I'm Tarikoplata and welcome to my channel. I represent Frontline Academy and I'm a student under Eduardo Rios. I'm a full-time jiu-jitsu athlete and instructor, and I created this page to share my techniques, training, and jiu-jitsu journey with you. Feel free to like and subscribe, and welcome to the family. Os.
Hey guys, welcome to another week here at the intermediate course, and today we're going to do one of my signature moves, the Tarikoplata. And we're going to do the basic version from the top kimura position. And this is the one I always choose to teach people first as a first encounter to the technique. So, pretty basic start here. Like we did earlier this week at the beginner's course. I'm pulling him towards me. I step over. And now I'm pinching my knees together here. Okay? So, a little bit of intricacy here. We're going to turn 180 degrees. Whoop, there we go. So, once I'm here and I switched for the kimura grip, I'm going to start working for some lapels here. If you want to see the no-gi version, just skip ahead. But for the gi version, I'm going to do a little bit of a less risky version than usual. Okay? So here, I'm going to be grabbing my collar here. And this way, I'm controlling his arm and I'm preventing him from getting it loose. Okay? With this other hand here, I'm going to be looking to get his lapel out of his belt, okay? Make sure it's the top lapel here that I'm getting loose, right? Usually, they're going to be grabbing the bottom lapel. That's what prevents me from bringing his arm up. If he grabs the top lapel, I can still work the kimura because the lapel comes with it, okay? So, here, I'm grabbing this lapel, making sure it's loose from his belt. I'm going to pull it over his wrist here, okay? Pretty tight as possible, basically. And I'm going to bring it over his wrist. And as soon as I've done this, I can let go of my own lapel here, or my collar here, okay? And I'm going to grab this lapel and then keep it tight, okay? Now, I've isolated this arm. And this way, I have a free extra arm here to do other work, okay? You can step back. You can go for some paper cut chokes here as well. Some back takes. There's a lot of possibilities, but we're going to do the special here today. So with this free hand, I want to post and push his legs down to the floor. This way, I can prevent him from catching my leg in between here. Okay, this is bad. Now it's hard for me to start working for the Tarikoplata. So we're going to move a little bit to the side. Oh. So here, I want to make sure I close this so I can now toss my leg freely over, okay? At the same time, make sure that I'm moving my weight to the side here, okay? So this way, this leg becomes light and it's easy for me to toss over, okay? I'm also gonna pull this arm as far as I can so that when I toss my leg over, I wanna catch his wrist in the crook under my knee here, okay? So, over, okay? Watch how my hand with the lapel grip is above my thigh and not underneath like this. This is just gonna be hard, okay? So I wanna be over like this so I can just let go of the lapel and go straight to my thigh here, okay? This way, I'm really controlling the position. Make sure that it's as deep as possible here, okay? So we're gonna turn here a little bit. Once I'm here, and again, make sure that this wrist is all the way through. If your hand is not deep enough, you might wrist lock yourself, or you might be able to get the submission because there's too much bending in your wrist, okay? I want the torque to happen in his shoulder, not in my wrist. So here, I'm now gonna push my hand on the floor, and I'm gonna let the sole of my foot slip off the floor here, okay? The other leg is just gonna step up, and I'm gonna have a good base with my foot and my hand here on the floor, okay? This way now, I can bring my elbow to the roof or to the ceiling, and I'm gonna slide my knee down to the floor here behind his back, okay? Now I'm creating the rotation to finish the shoulder lock, okay? Watch also how I'm not on top of him here, but I'm pulling myself here so he's flat on the floor, okay? Again, I'm not leaning forward here. I'm still having weight on top of his chest and his shoulder here. This way, if Lasse tries to move, I'm pretty solid on top of him, okay? Of course, I can move my hand, I can move my leg, but to finish, I'm gonna bring my elbow up, slide my knee under, and there we go. So from the beginning, here, step over, kimura, okay? Grab my own collar. Look for his lapel. Sometimes it's loose, okay? If it's in the belt, I'm gonna pull it out and then pull it over his wrist, okay? I can now grab his lapel with the hand that was grabbing my collar, okay? Now I'm gonna push his knees to the floor so I can easily toss my leg over, and then I'm gonna let go, okay? Here, watch how I'm pulling his arm so I can catch his wrist in the crook of my knee here, okay? Like this. My hand is above my thigh, so I can go straight from my thigh here and grab as tight as possible, okay? I'm gonna post on the floor here and step up with the other leg, okay? Let the sole of my foot slip off the floor so that I can now slide my knee up and bring my elbow up to the ceiling, okay? Boom, and get the submission. Okay, so one of my signature moves, there's some more elements to it, but this is a very basic, good setup to start with. Thank you guys. Hey guys, welcome to another week here at the intermediate class, and today we're gonna go through my signature move, the Tarikoplata. We're gonna do a very basic version of it, starting from the top kimura position, and this is the one I usually start teaching to my guys when it's their first experience. So here, same thing that we've been doing this week. I'm going to be pulling his arm to me, stepping over with my knee, and then getting to the kimura position. Okay? So this is when I get to the kimura, and Lasse is always pulling his arm in. It might be that he's grabbing his own hand, or that he's just super strong and it's hard to pull his arm out from his body, okay? The important part here is that I want to make sure my leg is free. So we're just gonna move, so you guys can see. If he's grabbing over my leg like this can be a problem, okay? So I wanna make sure I break this grip in that case. If his arm is like this and he's grabbing, this is fine too. I can work from here. Of course, there's a couple of other moves I can do with his neck as well, okay? So just make sure your leg is not in between here, and then you're gonna be able to toss the leg over. So, close to this side. So what we wanna make sure of is that when I'm gonna toss this leg over, I don't want him to catch my leg in between his knees here, okay? If this happens, I get stuck in the half guard, and it's gonna be a little bit more, boring to try to work my way out of the half guard and then attack again. So I want to pull his arm to me, and I wanna make sure that I time it when I see his knees falling to the side here, okay? So a lot of times when I pull, he's gonna be working his way on the other, like turning this way. So when that happens, I toss my leg over, okay? Now, I wanna make sure that this hand lands on top of my thigh here, okay? So, like this. Watch also how I'm pulling his arm to me and I'm moving my weight to the side here, okay? This way, this leg becomes light and it's easy for me to kick it over, okay? I wanna make sure that I'm grabbing his wrist with the crook of my knee. So when I throw over, I'm gonna let go of the kimura grip, but I gotta let his wrist fall into the crook of my knee here so that I trap it and get tight. We're gonna turn here a little bit. So make sure this wrist is all the way through, okay? At no point do I want this wrist to be underneath his elbow here. This is gonna make it rough for me because I'm almost wrist locking myself. And also it's harder to submit him because I'm not really having a stable lock here, okay? So all the way through, grab as deep as you can on your thigh here. And now I can post my hand on the floor and watch how I'm gonna slip this foot off the floor and let it slide up towards his head, okay? On the other side here, I'm gonna step up with this leg, okay? So basing out. I have my foot here, my hand here. This is gonna make me pretty stable, and I'm also sitting on top of his chest here, okay? At no point am I leaning too far forward. Now I'm losing the position, and Lasse can try to sit up and come out of the position, okay? So I want to sit on top of Lasse here, like this. So if Lasse tries to move, I'm pretty heavy on top of him, okay? Now it's a shoulder lock, so what do I want to do? I want to twist his shoulder. That means I'm going to bring my elbow up towards the ceiling and push my knee behind his back here, okay? So I'm turning, or I'm creating this torque here. Boom, to get the tap, okay? Watch also how by having this foot up, I can also create a bigger rotation. Because if this leg was down, my elbow can go just so far, okay? But as soon as I bring this leg up, now I can really turn, okay? A couple of things that can happen. If you're too close to him, you might feel like you're on top of him and he's on the side. So you want to make sure that you pull yourself out and then try to go for the submission. Starting from the beginning here. Knee on belly. Same thing as before. Nothing fancy here. Switch for the kimura. And now I'm working. Okay? So I'm going to pull his arm to me and I'm leaning to my side here. Preferably, always look to find the moment where his knees are pointing towards the wall here. Okay? This way, I know if his leg is pointing up, there's a higher chance of him catching my leg. If his legs are pointing to the side, we're better off. Okay? So here, toss over, catch his wrist in the crook of my knee here, and now I can post my hand on the floor, step up, and watch this. Don't have your toes on the floor here. Let your foot slip, or your sole of your foot slip off so that you can slide your foot easily here, okay? Now, I don't want to be on top of him here. I want to slide him and flatten him out, okay? So now, I can turn and get the submission, okay? One last time. And we have the Tarikoplata. Hope you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe. See you guys next time.